What's going on, Wastelanders? Welcome back to another Let's Build at the Coastal Cottage, Part 2. I'm going to start working on the back wall here where we started with the walls in Part 1. And if you guys don't know, Coastal Cottage is located in the northeast quadrant of the map, just north along the coast of by Salem, up by Salem. So yeah, as you can see here, I'm going to be fidgeting with this. I'm trying to get these right, getting my first set of floors. Of course, I want to make sure that the shack foundation piers are going into the ground. So I'm going to start laying these out here so I can start building a platform to build my first layer on. And it's kind of cool that it not glitches, but goes into the stonework there, so it looks like it's actually going to be built into the side of those rocks. And this is a really tough area to build in, especially in this back section, because there's not a whole lot going on. And as you can see there, I use the shack stairs to so I can get that second layer. And right here, I'm going to jack around with this for ever, it seemed like at the time, because I kept falling in that hole. So I was just trying to find some way of just covering the hole as I run back and forth, so that I could get this done a little bit quicker. And it's an entire waste of time, but that's alright. That's what this whole thing is about, right? Hey, I don't know about you guys, but I, after I'm done working and stuff like that, I come home, play some Fallout, because it just relaxes me. As frustrating as the game can be sometimes, it really does relax me, and I'm sure my doctor would be happy that my blood pressure gets lowered. And so yeah, I'm just sitting here jacking around with these shack foundation piers, getting everything lined up so I can start putting something together here. And I'm going to finish along this back row in this episode, and right now I'm just kind of laying out some of the groundwork for where some of the buildings is going to be, getting stuff sized in, to see how I can make this all work together. And I'm sorry if the video is a little fast, but I am trying to, well, it was over an hour and 15 minutes original runtime, so I had to speed it up, otherwise it would be way too long, and I think you guys would be really bored listening to me yammer on for an hour. So, like I said, I'm sitting here, I'm starting to get the foundation laid out for where some of these first buildings are going to be. Because I want to tie them all together, or at least for the most part, so that, because like I mentioned in the first episode, I don't know how the AI pathfinding is going to be on here. I don't even know what I was trying to do here. I don't know. So, well, I gave up on it pretty quick. So now I just keep working on this thing, trying to build it out, trying to push into that barn. That doesn't work. Alright, now I laid some stairs. I'm going to start figuring some stuff out here. In this long section up here, I think I may put a guard tower up there. But I don't know what I'm going to do, because it's kind of shallow in the fact that it's not very wide. It's a long room, or will be a long room. But I don't know how well that's going to work. Ultimately, I mean, I could make it like just a hangout area. I would probably put some tables up there and stuff like that. I'll get to that when I get to decoring this thing out. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do. And you can see I'm, going through like roof sections and stuff like that. Again, I don't want this thing to be sterile. I don't want it to... Oh, right there, I figured out that I could put the flat roof underneath the raised roof, which is pretty cool. I didn't know I could do that. So I figured that out. But, I try mixing some stuff up, different textures, different layers, so that when you look at it, when you stand back and look at it, it looks more realistic. Again, if you subscribe to my channel, you will hear me harp on it a million times, and I'll probably say it a million more times. I can't run down to a home center and pick up a load of lumber in this game. So it shouldn't look like I went to a home center and picked up a load of lumber. to build something. You know, I mean, I imagine that all the scrap pieces of wood are just, you know, in a big pile. Obviously, we don't see the pile or anything like that. But, you know, and you're just kind of going through and picking pieces that are roughly the same length and throwing them together and saying, okay, that's good. You can see here I put down a bunch of the shack wall with roofs. That's why I was thinking maybe like a hangout area or something like that, because it's going to have a lot of open space. I'm not going to be able to close off that other end because there's a tree branch that's sticking up just there, and I'm not going to tear this whole thing down because of a stupid tree branch. But I'll go ahead and throw some roofs on it, and so at least when they're hanging out up here, they'll have some shelter. And like I said, maybe I'll throw a couple guard towers up here ultimately. And I'm still looking at that, trying to figure out how I can get that taken care of. So, you know what? Okay, maybe we'll just put another guard tower here. You know, or another shack roof with a wall. So yeah. So, we're clicking along here, and as you can see, it's getting dark. But don't worry. The magic of editing, and it's daylight again. And we're right back to it. So now I want to kind of cover up some of these, the shack piers where they're kind of hanging over the edge. You know, obviously I couldn't get another one in there. I'm screwing around with wall pieces. Ultimately, what I end up going with, well, you guys will see. You know, it's an old trick that I've been using. I used it in the 12-sided guard tower. And yet here again, I'm trying to support that landing. Why fight with that so much? I don't really know, other than my brain says it looks like it's just floating too far, and it's a single piece. But and I do this a lot. You guys will see this a lot in my videos. I will step back and take a look at it and gather my bearings. Of course, it was probably like 3 or 4 minutes. I just sat there and looked at it. Of course, I speed it up, and it's a whole lot faster. Okay, we're not going that fast, but still. I mean, I go so far as to try and get these walls to, like, click into floor panels and all kinds of stuff. And here I'm going to try and glitch a wall piece in. And ultimately, it doesn't work. I'll tell you now. I'll ruin the surprise. It doesn't work. So, okay, let's try moving it around. Let's try with a rug. Oh, yeah, no. No. Draco, what are you doing? That's just stupid. It's alright. I have a new idea, and this is the idea I end up going with. Something I'm very familiar with, using the rug glitch and a junk wall. Drop that thing into place. Ah, look at that. Beauty. Now it looks like that whole floor, or that whole wall is supported, and I am much happier with that. Why I keep going up there to look around? Oh yeah, see, look, there's me putting in the guard post. And you can get this thing, and it's tight. And the reason why I'm having so much problem here is I put that end cap on. I didn't even realize it. I see it now. I put that end cap on there, and it makes it even tighter for that guard post to go in. If I had taken that end cap off of the shack wall with roof, that would have been a whole lot easier. So now I'm going to sit here and look at, trying to get some walls to snap here. But, of course, those branches are giving me fits. I put that down, try and get it close. Now, what the hell am I doing? Nope, get rid of it. Come on, get rid of it. Yeah, there we go. Let's just go back to where we were, what we were doing, what works. Okay, so we'll grab some junk fence. Oh, look at that. It'll fit nicely right there. And of course, I'm not going to be able to squeeze that in, but I'll rug glitch it in, and it will look marvelous. Or as another YouTuber says, just grand. And I love it when he says that. So yeah, we're going to get this all buttoned up so it looks a whole lot more supported, sturdy. And honestly, I'm probably going to end up putting a building up 10 feet in front of it, and I won't even see it again. But at least for right now, my mind is at ease that I'm covering up these piers, and I'm going to jerk with that. Realize I got to move the wall to the other side so that... See, this is a prime example that the rug glitch works with the junk fence. And I know I just put up a video last night about this, but wanted to reiterate that it works very well. Find the sweet spot in the wall, guys. Find the sweet spot in the wall. Okay, so now, I've got that secured. I'm going to move on to other things now. I need to get up here. And I'm typically very methodical in how I build. So, like, I'm not going to build out this section that I'm working on here. I'm just trying to develop a good pathway to get to the building, or the floor, that last little section right over there. Trying to figure this all out, and ultimately I'm going to end up scrapping that little bridge thing that I just built, because I didn't ultimately like where it was. And of course, you know, dealing with different angles and stuff, you have to get kind of creative, and I get it ultimately figured out. And I'm saying ultimately a lot, and I'm sorry for that, and I will fix that, because I shouldn't be saying ultimately a lot. It bugs me when I say a lot of the same words, so I will correct that behavior. I'm sorry for that. And when I build, of course I vary up my walls. I want different structures, different textures. Again, harping on the fact that I don't get to go to a, well, I don't want to use any brand names, don't want to upset anyone. I don't get to go to a home center and pick up a nice load of fresh lumber to get this all built. But as you can see, it's coming together rather nicely. That's going to be a little, probably just like a little bedroom for one of the settlers. You know, I'll throw a nice bed in there, a little table, maybe a radio or something like that. And I'm just going to start getting this thing thrown together. And I'm also fighting with the edges of the tops of the junk walls that are behind this thing. But I wanted it close, and I tried testing it as best I could. This building, now this was a stupid idea right here. I don't know why I thought this was going to be a good idea, but I tried it anyway. Trying to get some roofing on it, and no, that's not going to work. So I ended up just skipping that idea, and I think I leave it as an open area, open like porch area right there. And of course I'm going to move this wall, because of course I'm going to fidget with this thing until I think it's right. And so yeah, trying different wall pieces, and they're not snapping where I want them to, and they're too thick, and they're not connecting, and I will get this, trust me. Sometimes I found, if you notice right there, that if you put down a thick wall piece, and there are different thicknesses of wall pieces, some are certainly thinner than others. If you put down the thick one first, then you can't put the thin one down. But if you always put the thin one down first, then the thick one will pop right into place like it did there. And so here I'm going to throw up some roofs. Develop this nice little porch area out here that I'm not going to worry about, or anything like that. And it drives me crazy how sometimes you can't snap the railing, especially right there in front of the door, on that little single piece. You end up having to make your, like, a little front deck area. And I'm looking at this door and it's going to swing the wrong way. Well, that's not going to work. Okay, so let's reevaluate the entire project. Move the door, okay. Let's snap these into place. Here I decided I'm just going to make like a little walk-around porch. And I am going to ultimately bring it around the front here, like I'm doing right there, so that to get to that other building, you will just see that little wood one right there on the left is very thin. It's one of the thinnest walls that they have, and it works really well for plugging gaps. But I don't know why this wouldn't snap there. It was really weird. So got it to snap. And so I'm putting that little walk around porch, trying to figure out these stairs. Now I decide, okay, that's hanging out too far, so I need to put a bridge underneath. Take it all down. Let's put the bridge underneath. These bridges are rather nice, but they're very finicky, so you kind of have to work with them with nothing above them, and then get the level right so that you can get stuff on top of it. But then I realize it's still sitting too low. There we go. Now we're getting a whole lot better. Building this walk-around porch. Get that other bridge into place, and then it's all going to look like it's all nicely supported, and it makes me happy. I don't know about you guys, but I like being happy. So we'll get this all dialed in here in a second. Now, I don't know if you guys know about this trick or not, but if you take out a floor piece, then you can get the walls to go the direction that you want by snapping to the other part of the piece. So like there, I take that out just so I can snap that wall into place right there. And of course, because it thinks it's the outside, so the metal, I call it a metal wall because I guess it is like sheet metal. And then I'll be able to drop this back into place here in a second. It'll fight me for a second, and then we will get it. And I think, yeah, take out that wall there. Sometimes you just have to change the angle of the where you're working, and sometimes you have to look high, sometimes you have to look low. So yeah, if you guys are new to the settlement phase, just keep those tips in mind that that just because you're looking at it a certain way and it won't snap in, doesn't mean that it won't snap into that place. It just may not snap in the just the way you're looking at it. See, I'm trying to get that to snap just right, so I'm moving around. I thought, oh, I'll throw this wall up and then I can snap off of that wall, and it's still giving me hell. So I'm trying different angles. Okay, look, I got it to snap. Again, I had that thick wall up first, and it was giving me problems. And now I'm going to get back inside, fill in the gaps that I have. I think I ended up going 3 stories on this building. So I'm just going to plug in some of the walls here. And of course, because the junk fence is there, I couldn't put that shack wall with roof on that edge. I'm not going to put anything but thinner walls there, so I'll have to figure that out. If you haven't gathered by now, oh, we're getting dark, so it looks like I'm going to have to make another time jump here. But I'll get this bridge set, get this all finished off, and poof, it's daylight again. You gotta love the magic of editing, right? Alright, so I tend to build as I move along. As you guys notice, you know, I don't go back and fill in all the railings later. I kind of, okay, I'm done with this section, now put the railings on and move on to the next piece. That way I don't have to look back a lot. You know, oh, what did I forget over there? So yeah, I'm buttoning up the second floor there, and I'm checking out the edges, figuring out what walls I want to put down, and contemplating that for a second. I don't know, maybe I was grabbing something to drink or something and stopped there. So we're gonna throw up one more level. So let's we're grabbing some more walls. Now right here, I forgot to put in the end caps for the shack wall with roof, because that capped wall on the left always gets in the way from putting in those caps, so I moved it out of the way so I could get the cap on and then put it back into place. See there, I was looking over the edge again to figure out, okay, where did I put the shack wall with roof on the floor below? I don't want to do that again. Cap that off. Now I'm going to pull out this floor so I can snap a wall here along that edge, because that's going to be like a little bedroom area, give my seller a little bit of privacy there. So it's just not a big open floor. And then we'll go ahead and move up to the 3rd floor here after I get these upper shack floors put into place. And again, I'm looking at the edge, trying to figure out exactly, you know, where I want to put my shack wall with roofs. I throw that roof up, decide that sucks, come over here, get a little bit different perspective on it. And I'll jump down here, get a different perspective on it. And I think about here is where I realized that I didn't have a door to get into that building. But, you know, I just kind of grabbed one of the walls and moved it out of the way, running back up to the top. Let's look over the edges again, figure out where our shack roof with walls are. Okay, so now I know where I'm going. I put that piece up and I realized that it doesn't have the good roof pitch that I wanted. So I take them down and throw up ones that have the better roof pitch. Again, making a little bedroom area here, so I throw up that wall kind of preemptively before I build everything in. I mean, I don't want to make it feel like it's just one big, huge room that these guys are sleeping in. Well, and women, not just guys, I guess. There, I was checking to make sure I was using a different shack wall with roof than I'd used on the other side of the house. Not that you'd really notice it. You wouldn't say, oh, look at that. He used the same one on this side as he did on that side. That's just me being a little anal. But we're going to get it all buttoned up. Alright, we got some good bedroom sections going in here. Finish out the walls. I'm going to use some upper shack floors for the roof section here. And then I'm going to be wrapping it up. I'm going to put some turrets and stuff on the top. So I'll get this all buttoned up, and then I'm going to head back down and take a look at my work. Realize that I don't have a door, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that out real quick. And ultimately put in a little porch there. So we'll grab another bridge. Come on, get into place. Put our door section up. Put the other wall up. Alright, ladies and gents, that's going to do it, Wastelanders. Be safe out there, and stay tuned for part 3 of Let's Build on Coastal Cottage. This is Draco Invictus saying, see ya!